Well, that's true. That's true. But this would be a state program, and that's a good question. I don't know exactly.
Is it an elected or appointed?
The insurance commissioner is an elected position, a statewide position here in California. Dave Jones is currently the insurance commissioner, but it's an elected position. And I think when the insurance commissioner, and this was decades ago in California, when they had the regulatory authority over automobile insurance, people thought, oh dear, the insurance companies are going to, go down, and they're not going to be able to stay in business, etc. And that hasn't been the case. I mean, auto insurance companies are, they're thriving and doing fine.
A lot of people are having trouble understanding a lot of things about the ACA.
Yeah.
And I think that it can really help people if a lot of these points were clarified.
Yeah.
And
Well, California covered, the state of California and the California Exchange and so forth and so on is gearing up, and I think in the next month you will begin to start seeing a lot more information about the ACA. Some people might not like it, but I think that I agree. I think that there's a lot of confusion right now.
a lot of rumors.
A lot of rumors. I've talked to a number of different people who have given me, their conditions and told them, well, when you go on the exchange and because of the income that you're making, you're going to get, a tax credit, and it's not like you have to fill out your taxes and wait until, the next year to get your tax returns. You get that, kind of right up front, and that your health insurance, is going to will be, affordable. But, we've got to, my position on the ACA is that we have got, it can't be perfect at the outset, and we've got to tweak and adjust as time goes on and get it right. I mean, we succeeded with that with Medicare, and Social Security are, two programs that people at the very beginning said, this is never going to work, it's a government subsidy and it's just never going to work, and it's working, and I think people care very much about their Medicare and their Social Security, and so there's a lot of work to be done and tweaks and so forth that need to occur to smooth this out and to kind of get it right. But the tenets around no pre-existing condition can keep you away from affordable, accessible, high-quality health care, the fact that you can put your children on, the fact that there are no limits. I think all of these tenets are very important for women. Pregnancy is a pre-existing condition right now, and there's no parity for women on the health insurance program. They pay more for their health insurance because women are more likely to be pregnant and have, other kinds of conditions. So that, to me, that's not fair. There should be parity, and certainly pregnancy shouldn't be a pre-existing condition.
But the problem is it's just too complicated. I mean, yes, there's a lot of good provisions in it, but it's 20,000 plus pages of regulations that 90% of the people don't understand. It's too complicated. It's too divisive. It's not ready yet. It needs to be tweaked, yes. But hold off until you get the thing right. Why try to implement it when it's not ready?
Provision in there about insurance companies have to have a certain percentage.
Yes, there is. So and many people who are currently insured, right about now, if your insurance company hasn't put 80% of their dollars towards your health care, then there is a penalty to pay, and you will get a rebate on what you have been paying your insurance company. And that will happen, that should happen right about now. And that is also included, it's happening right now as part of the ACA. last year I talked to many people in Ventura County who got a check in the mail and got a rebate because their insurance company didn't meet this criteria, and we're very, very surprised. But this is another element I think that people don't quite understand, and it is very complicated, and we have to simplify that. And I certainly supported sort of delaying it for a year so that we could get it right. But we're going to have to tweak and go and my office wants to be as accessible as possible to help anybody that we can act as a conduit for information. But I think we're going to find that very, very soon you'll be able to go, there'll be lots of people that you can speak to. There will also be on the computer, on the website, where you can just plug in all of your information, and this program will do all of the calculations.
Oh, here's the thing. I'm on Medicare already, so it doesn't affect me as significantly as it would a younger person.
Yes.
But unlike a lot of people, I read the entire 2,000 or 2,200 page of the original act. It is unbelievable. Lawyers couldn't understand the thing the way it's written. It's just, if they're going to delay it, let's delay the whole thing, not pick and choose this part, that part. Either do it all or don't do it at all, and tweak it and get it right.
What I
then
supported,
implement it.
In Congress when those votes came before me. But I stand ready. It's the law, and I stand ready to make sure that for everyone who lives here in Ventura County, that we're going to make it as easy as possible. Now, and remember that most people are already on their health insurance plan, so we're talking about a very small segment of people.
The one major concern I have, because you talked about the subsidies. Okay, that's great if people actually need the subsidy and should require it because they need the assistance. But the problem is everything I'm reading, everything I'm hearing, from what I can ascertain, and I don't just listen to news bits, I delve into it. Everything I've been able to find out, there's not going to be any substantiation or any accountability. If somebody applies for the subsidy, they're going to get it. There's not going to be any check and balance to see.
That's not true. Well, this is the way it has been explained to me, and what I understand is that you're right. On the one hand, that if you go through the calculations and the subsidy is due to you, you will get the subsidy.
Exactly.
When you fill out your income tax and what you said doesn't line up with your income tax, then that's where the accountability piece comes in.
But the problem is it falls apart because there are going to be a lot of people that will apply for the subsidy that aren't entitled to it. They're going to get it, and then after they have it, it's too late. You're not going to get it back because they don't have the money.
Well, they'll get it back on the tax return.
How about people that don't pay any taxes?
I'm saying I'm here to make it work.
And if it's so good, why did Congress exempt themselves from it?
That's my question. If it's so great, why are you guys exempted from it?
Well, we're not.
No, they are not.
We're not exempt.
And their workers.
Well, we didn't exempt ourselves.
No, it didn't.
No.
Not yourselves, but all the
we have to
congressional
go-
staffers
we
are
have to
exempt
go
from
on
it.
the- No, we have to go through the exchange. We have to go through the exchange. We're actually the.
That is not true. That is not true.
Yeah, well,
The latest I read is that the regulation as it's written exempts congressional staffers and the people in Washington who work for the government, exempts them from having to go, they keep their current plan or their current program, which does require subsidy from the government.
You're in my humblest opinion, that you are somewhat right, but not fully right. I think what they just recently changed was, and this was the president who did this, is to say that myself and the staff, people that work in Capitol. So right now we're like for a lot of people who work for companies and they have their insurance plans, and the company contributes some a part of the plan, and you contribute some of the plan, and that's how it is in Congress. There's some contribution, and I also contribute to my health insurance policy. So what they said was, you're going to go on the exchange, but what the government has been paying towards your health insurance program will also apply as you.
They're going to continue to pay it.
No. I'm going to pay some, and the government's going to pay some. I'm going to pay.
That's not what I read. And I didn't listen to the news. I went and read the
I want to be more of a listener here, and you might very well be right. So that's not my understanding, but
Go
again,
back and read the rules.
yeah, as I said, I'm here. It is the law.
I know you're busy, but have one of your staffers read it and then come back and tell us that it's not going to cost us more tax money. It is. There's no doubt about it.
For all these subsidies where we owe so much money.
Pardon me?
How are they going to pay for all these subsidies? The government subsidize everybody's insurance plans and all when we are in debt. Are they going to print more money?
No, they're not going to print more money. I mean, hypothetically, it is if everybody is insured. You know, the cost of health care is going to come down because people aren't going to have to utilize the emergency room and the very expensive pathways towards their health insurance. And if you're investing on the front end on preventative care, then the dollars that you save on the back end in terms of not getting really sick, because you have the opportunity to go and see a doctor and making sure that you take care of the problem at the very beginning and not have the huge cost at the very end because you're so sick. Well, I mean, a lot of people that don't have health care don't have access. The only thing they can do is drive to an emergency room, and because some people are barely able to provide for their families, will then delay going and to see a doctor to pay full price because they can't.
I don't know about nationwide, but in California that is not true because there are several, and I investigated this because I was without insurance for a period of about 4 months until I went on Medicare, and I was injured, and I found there are at least 3 or 4 community organizations that will provide medical care, at no or reduced cost if you're financially incapable of paying, so I went and saw a doctor. They said it's $75. I think everybody's got $75. So there are outlets available currently to assist people that have the need. So they can get preventative care. They can get treatment for minor illnesses. They don't necessarily have to go to an emergency room.
Right.
So
certain communities can do that. There's Indian communities that
almost
have
every community in California.
But what we ought to do is get the insurance companies out of the business of healthcare and have single payers. And then
Very nice to meet you.
you would not. They're the ones who are raising the rates.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
the things they have to do to meet the government regulations. After I was on private health care for years, and it's affordable. And then
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I have a question for you.
I'm Julia.
Hi, Pam.
Hi, Pam. Pam, nice to meet you.
Our community is already being affected by Obamacare in that all the jobs are being cut to part-time. And the new, it's 77% of all the employees hired in 2013 are part-time. This is hurting our community specifically. We have all these small businesses. And
Well,
our
businesses
farmers.
are exempt right now for another year. It doesn't take place until
The
2015.
public is not. So how do you explain that?
Well, I mean, I think again, I don't want to argue with you, so businesses are exempt until 2015.
After the election.
And for individuals, it is so. I presume that you're saying for individuals they aren't in a company, so it's not in terms of companies laying off people. I don't think that the nexus is there because individuals are individuals who might not be employed but don't have health insurance, and so they're the ones that can sign up on the exchange and have a menu of insurance policies. They do. It's a $95 fine.
And
Yes.
right now, it goes up, up to 600 and some a year.
Yeah, why are we being penalized?
Well, so
delay it all or don't delay it.
again, the role that I want to play here is to make sure that this is working for everyone, that it is, that you'll...
Everyone is included in this program. So many unions are exempt, so many...
Well, that's a big problem.
I mean, and so many people are exempt. Well, if this is supposed to be equality, there is no equality as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I appreciate your sentiment, and as I said, it's it's the law, and I want to help. I want to help you.
Going out and selling the law. If the law is the law, it's done.
Right.
If you're all in on it, which sounds like you are, you're totally all in.
I want to make it work for people. Let me tell you what I'm for. I am for high quality health care that is affordable and accessible to everyone. That's what I'm for, and I want. That's what I will work towards. And I want.
Well, doesn't this frighten you, though? Because doesn't this frighten you? You have the right heart, I guess, for what you want for us, all of us people. But doesn't this frighten you with all the rules and regulations? Not knowing the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and that this could have very negative, issues on a lot of our lives.
Well,
so it needs to be held off until you guys know, it can
I
be fixed.
hear you on that. I hear you
So
on that.
please put that vote in for me. I think most people feel like put it on hold.
This is our community, and
Yeah.
this is what we want. We want
Right.
it to be. You're talking about tweaking. Like
Don't
you say, no,
tweak
it's
it.
already the law. But
Well,
our
we've got
president keeps
to
changing
make it
the law,
work.
which is against the law.
So get it right before you start it.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I've cast a vote on this to say that, when the president said, we're going to delay businesses for a year, I said, well, it seems to make sense to, to delay for individuals so that everybody can have a full understanding of what it is. You can still sign up for it. Nothing's preventing people if it's good for them, to sign up for it and take advantage, of the program. So, I've done that, but at the same time, as I said, I want to work towards making this better, making sure that we fix what needs to be fixed, and at the end of the day, that everybody has access to high quality health care. And it's not right. If you're very, very sick and you're denied by an insurance company, that's just not right in my mind, because
Right, but Obamacare. But
It takes
Obamacare
away
is.
your freedom if you can't get insurance and you can't get health care and you get broke and you die.
That's right.
That takes away your freedom. And the whole idea of this is to increase freedom for the American
I have had so many
Have all these
people.
restrictions?
I have had so many people also that aren't here today, but have, called me and called our office and so forth and so on, with tears in their eyes because their child was diabetic and that couldn't get insurance, for their loved one and for their babies, and for the first time that they, are going to have, coverage. And so, I think, the tenets of no pre-existing condition, that there's no cap, that, after you're sick and dying from cancer,
So keep the good
after
parts and wait on the other
and
stuff.
we spend $100,000, and after that, sorry, you're on your own. That's not
Indicators that
okay.
aren't going to be screened or fingerprinted to see. I mean, you
Yeah,
need
$100,000 a year job for somebody with a high school education. That's ridiculous.
That's poor management as far as I'm concerned. You don't screen. You don't know what information is going to be taken in by all these people that
I don't like the IRS being in charge of the handling of the money of this. Look at the problems they're having.
The tax agency they should
But
be.
these are all
what?
They are the tax agency they should be.
Why they can't handle what they're doing now?
Well,
Why give them
that's
more
that's
duty?
where the kind of the accountability piece of all of this comes in. To make sure that we're just not giving handouts necessarily, but for the people who need the tax credit or the subsidy, have it to make it affordable, affordable for everyone and have access to health care. So.
First of all, I apologize for not introducing myself.
Yeah.
My name is Rich Tootin. I
Hi,
live here in
Rich.
Oxnard. And I realize you came to talk about the ACA, and that's great, but there is one other issue.
I came to talk about any issue.
I have
I'm just here to talk
one
about
other issue
anything.
that I wanted to get your feeling on and
Sure.
give you my position at least. Second Amendment rights and gun control.
Yeah.
I'm a combat veteran. I've owned and shot firearms
for
for
your service.
No problem. I have owned and shot firearms for well over 50 years. Never killed anyone outside of combat, never even thought of doing it, don't have any inkling whatsoever, but I enjoy the shooting sports.
Absolutely.
My girlfriend is the same way. We go down to shooters on Tuesdays because it's Old Farts Day and we can get in for nothing. And she shoots her 38, I shoot my 9mm. We go out to the range and it's fun, it's enjoyable, it's a sport. What gives Congress the right to tell me what arm or what gun or what type of firearm I can own when I am handling it responsibly? You know, and I can guarantee you, California right now has some of the toughest gun laws in the nation. You got to wait 10 days to buy a handgun. If you want another one, you got to wait another 10 days to get that one. You buy a rifle, you got to wait 10 days. You got to wait another 10 days to buy a second one. It's already ridiculous as a legal firearms. So you have to jump through hoops just to get like a hunting rifle. And yet they want to add more and more imposition to it. And yet I will guarantee you, like I was telling this gentleman earlier, you put $500 in my hand, I'll walk over to South Oxnard and buy you an illegal gun this afternoon, bring it back to you. I had a guy at my gym offer to sell me a full auto AK. So they're out there. It's not the people like me that are the problem. It's the gangbangers and the thugs and the people that are getting guns illegally. And all the rules in the world aren't going to stop that. So why impose more burden on me, you know, like this thing about the stupid magazine ban. You know, I'll give you a perfect example. I have a firearm that I have owned since I got out of the service back in 1969. The thing is well over 30 years old. It was manufactured with a 15-round clip. It is now illegal. I can't fire the gun.
Well, that's a good thing. I'm really happy you can't. I'm really happy.
Let me finish, please.
Well, you have been here. Other people may want to get a word
I want to know what your position is on the government telling me what kind of.
There's a gentleman behind you who is probably a veteran. Would you let him have a word?
I'm a veteran also, ma'am.
Would you let him have a chance?
So,
I'm just here on behalf of.
Let me just tell you, what was your name again?
Rich.
Rich. So I don't think anybody's trying to take your guns away. I
They are.
respect the Second Amendment right. The only thing that has been before Congress and it didn't pass was a background check.
I don't have a problem with a background check. That's great.
And we have a background check in California,
But
but we don't have a background check
this stupid argument over assault weapons, I own an AR-15. It is not an assault weapon. It's a semi-automatic, single-shot sporting rifle.
But that hasn't been what's been proposed. There's been a lot of...
it was proposed last year. Unfortunately, it was defeated, fortunately. And let's hope that it will continue to be defeated.
Right. So all I'm saying is that the only viable piece of legislation that didn't get out of the Senate that I think has a possibility of still coming back is a background check. Nothing more than and California already had
Right,
does
we
that.
already have that.
So
does every other state in the nation. But the problem is, you're not going to stop the guy that wants to get it illegally because he's not going to go apply for the background
guns
check.
in the wrong hands have hurt people and Sandy Hook in Colorado.
Exactly. So make the penalty stiffer for people that use guns illegally. Send them off to prison for the rest of their lives. I don't have a problem with that. But don't tell me, as a law-abiding citizen, that I can't own a particular weapon. Because
No, it doesn't
affect me.
Because you're a law-abiding citizen.
I know, and I don't have a problem with the background check. What I have is
You look different. You've got makeup